Hey loves, how are you all doing? It is day 6 of the Unleash Your Abundance series, TV series, sessions, live training, whatever you want to call it. But I am here all month, and actually the whole premise behind doing this for 30 days was just because I have so much content that I've been wanting to share recently, probably over the last couple of months, and just showing up with Facebook posts and posts in my Facebook group just haven't really been giving me enough time. So I thought, why not just get it all out there? Let's just get on video every day and let's just share some of this valuable content for you guys. And it is a great way for me to connect and for you to engage and for you to ask any questions. So I have been here over the last 5 days and I have been talking about abundance and what it means and how it's connected to energy, and some of the ways that we can be struggling with our energy and how that can affect our vibration. Yesterday I was talking about how we can start to own what the work that we do, and we have been covering a range of different ways that you can start to up-level your abundance mindset. And today, my question was, are you or do you ever sometimes feel like you're not good enough? Now, at the moment, I'm in the process of launching and enrolling for my very first group program, which is called Unleash Your Abundance. And it is a 6-week business boot camp for female creatives and coaches, and it is exploring and will be covering a lot of these topics that I've been covering and will be covering over the next 30 days. And it will be a fantastic way for you to really start to step into that abundance mindset that is going to activate the abundance of opportunities and money and clients and that kind of state of mind that will help you to up-level wherever you are in your business. So I had a really fantastic conversation. It was a discovery call that I had with a lady today, and she's a creative and she's an art director. And, I mentioned earlier on in the week that I tend to work with a lot of service-led creatives and people in a service-led sector. That's normally who I support. So it's a mixture of creatives and coaches and consultants. I've worked with therapists, I have worked with illustrators, yoga teachers, well-being coaches, and for me, all of these jobs and roles are all creative roles. So if you're watching this and thinking, I'm not really sure if I'd classify myself as a creative, well, if you are creating content, if you are creating work, services, packages, you may even be a freelancer, but if you are creating things with your work, then you're a creative person. And one of the areas that I find comes up for women a lot is around confidence and self-worth, and actually the imposter syndrome. So I think it must be 4 or 5 times this week now I've come across people using this expression. So even my sister the other day was listening to a radio show. She was like, here we go again, Joe, like you need to talk about this, please do a live about this. And I probably could spread this across several lives and across several videos, but this area of the imposter syndrome is huge, and it's not just for women, it's for men as well, if there's any guys watching this. But you know, for women it can be especially crippling when we are moving and starting to up level into roles that really require, that are really putting us like in a different level, when we are stepping into and stretching out of our comfort zone, probably because of the talent and the expertise and the creativity and the ideas, then this is where a level of questioning comes up. You know, for a lot of women, you know, when we're starting, if you're starting to like move into more senior positions, or if you are starting to take on more responsibility, or if you are setting up and running your own business, that's when like the little gremlins can come up, and a woman can start to question whether they're good enough. So let me ask you a question. Does this ever come up for you where you say to yourself, oh my God, maybe I'm wrong. You know, who am I to be doing this? And I need some kind of approval around this. I need someone who can tell me that I'm doing a good job, or maybe I'm not doing a good job, or how can I get that evidence that I'm good enough, and like maybe I'm not meant to be here, and like maybe I'm going to get found out. And you know, is this something that comes up for you, that feeling in your business? Because this is something that comes up for everyone at some point or other. And if you've been following some of these videos, or if you've been following any of my other Facebook posts, you'll know that I have been a DJ for 15 years, and I had my own radio show for 8 years, and you know, I played in a lot of London clubs and, you know, to big crowds, and I've done the Notting Hill Carnival and Ministry of Sound, and you know, made a CD and kind of had a real thriving career. And it's just parked for now. I do love my music, as you can see with the records in the background, but I remember the crippling imposter syndrome I had when I first started. And you know, I've said before, the name of my business is called Create Your Own Story, because I'm really passionate about helping and empowering women to overcome those stories, those limiting beliefs that hold women back from really stepping into their zone of genius, stepping into their power, really starting to own the work that they do, walk the talk, and sell their services with confidence and charge their worth. And it is something that comes up for women all the time. And for myself, when I first started DJing, it was the toughest thing ever for me to you know, go out and actually ask to be given the fee that I wanted. And you know, there was so many gigs that I did for free. I remember I was DJing at this bar in Brick Lane must have been for about a year. I was so passionate. I just wanted to get myself out there. And you know, I was working at the time, and I did like a 4 or 5 hours stint set, which was like every Thursday, and which was like 7 till 12, and I got paid peanuts. I mean, I can't even remember if I was paid for this. I think I got free drinks behind the bar and maybe taxi fee home. And I was using vinyl at the time as well, so used to lug that into work. and, you know, kind of lug it into this venue as well, which was kind of like a hotel with a sidebar. And it wasn't even packed. It was the Thursday night. It wasn't even packed. And I did this for a year, and I did it because I was so passionate and determined to build my resume up and like make a name for myself. But that imposter syndrome used to cripple me, and I used to find it really difficult to negotiate a fee. And when it came to doing my radio show, I remember the first days of, you know, the first shows where I just used to like find it really hard to speak and to like own my voice and really understand that I was offered that show because people thought I was good enough. They thought I was good. And before even getting that show, you know, I really should have been, you know, seeing and understanding that what I had to give and to share and my passion was not really up for negotiation. It wasn't up for someone to give approval. And this is something that comes up for women a lot. And this imposter syndrome, it really does tie in with this need for to have a permission, to have approval, and this fear of judgment. Yeah, so when we are in this society where we are being judged even more in social media, how we show up on video, whether we're good enough, especially if you are doing the same role as someone else. Like there's a sea of coaches out there who are doing what I'm doing, probably all talking about imposter syndrome as well. But when you are out there and when you are doing what you do, then my tip for today is to really start to dial in and filter out the thoughts where you are comparing yourself to someone else, where you are worried about being judged, where you're thinking about having permission, where you are making assumptions about how people are perceiving you. If you can stay out of and really be aware as a first point of when those thoughts are coming up, then that is one of the very first steps of really starting to conquer imposter syndrome. And this is an area that I could go into for many videos. As a transformational mindset coach, obviously, you know, this is something that I coach around all the time. And it comes up in my mentoring sessions as well that I do for the Songwriting Academy with singers and songwriters and creative artists. And so my question for you today would be, where are you thinking that you are not good enough? Is it just coming up in your business, or is it coming up in other areas of your life? Because we can have patterns, and when we can identify these patterns and what the triggers are, that's when you can start to pick apart these stories, pick apart the behaviors, and really start to pivot and put yourself in a different direction so that you can change course. So I've had a light go off there, which is very strange, but fair enough. And I think it's telling me that, like, you know, time's up. Time is up. Short video today. And listen, it is Friday here, and I am going to be taking a well-earned break over the weekend, and I'm going to be back next on Sunday, I think it will be. And if you're watching this on the replay, then I would love for you to send some hearts, drop a comment, and let me know like what's coming up for you as well. And if you would like to speak to me about any of the challenges that I've covered so far, then drop me an email or drop me a comment, drop me a DM and reach out to me. And as I said, I'm enrolling for my 6-week group program at the moment, which is Unleash Your Brilliance Business Bootcamp. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to drop a link in this video as well so you can have a look at all the details. But until then, have a fantastic weekend and I will see you later.